TIFU by completely misunderstanding my doctor's instructions while getting an X-ray. I needed to get an X-ray on my back today, due to some pain after an accident. This was also my first time having one in this location. The only other time I've gotten an X-ray was for a broken wrist as a kid. I guess I should also mention that I can get quite nervous at the doctor's. So I go into the clinic to wait, and it wasn't long before the radiologist calls me in. He was a soft-spoken man right off the bat and a little hard to hear. Since it was my back that was getting X-rayed, I had to remove my bra. He got me positioned in front of the machine and started to leave the room to take the image. He stopped at the doorframe and said, "Hold your breasts. I have a larger bust, so I'm thinking, sure, I can hold these bad boys up. Especially since I didn't have the support of my bra. So I do what he says." Turns out the radiologist was saying, "Hold your breath." So I'm standing there with a melon in each hand when he says, "No, I need you to not breath while I take the image." Obviously following directions is not my strong suit. And this resulted in a pretty awkward appointment. Afterwards, I sat in my car for a moment and contemplated all my life choices. TLDR. I was getting an X-ray and thought the radiologist said, "Hold your breasts," when he actually said, "Hold your breath." And my dumbass held my breasts. Don't worry. I'm an X-ray tech and people do silly things all the time. It makes us laugh and it makes the day more fun. Lol. Once I handed an elderly lady a gown to put on before her X-rays. She said she was ready and came out completely naked. We had a good laugh. Lol. Wait till you have to get a mammogram. Poor thing, hope you feel better. And like a champ, you came right to Reddit with your story. On the bright side, it probably broke up the monotony in his day. Thanks for the laugh. If it makes you feel better, we often ask people to hold their breasts out of the way in medicine. It's a valid mistake. You made me laugh so hard. This is the kind of thing I would do. I'm kind of blushing with you. Heart. Lol. And this is why I say, now take a deep breath in, instead of hold your breath tears of joy. So I had a breast reduction. The morning of the surgery. The surgeon came in with a nurse and a marker. I got to stand there while he drew markings on my breasts, deciding where to cut and where to put my nipples. It was best to do it while I was standing up, instead of lying on the table. You many think, okay, the nurse was there because male doctors often bring in female staff to observe any time that the patient is exposing a private part. It's true. Any male doctor I have had has brought in a woman for a breast exam, pap smear, etc. Maybe to make me more at ease. Maybe to prevent any claims of sexual harassment. Maybe both. Oh, but this nurse had a specific task. She stood behind me, then reached around and lifted up my breasts. She held them up so that the doctor could make markings on my underboobs. So there I stood, a stranger holding my breasts, while someone else was drawing lines on my boobs. It was so absurd that I giggled a little. I just thought you might like a giggle. Or to know that there are situations where your breasts must be held. Edit. I'm not going into my bra size. I will say that I grew an inch in height after surgery. That's the kind of stupid shit I do that'll haunt me as I try to fall asleep 40 years from now. Thanks for sharing. This was a fun laugh. This not quite the same thing, but I had a funny misunderstanding with instructions and my breasts. 2. On my wedding day. After getting into my dress and waiting in the bridal suite, the male photographer said, "Okay. Now look at your girls," and I very promptly looked straight down at my chest. He quickly said, "No. Your other girls." And that's when I realized all my bridesmaids were sitting on a couch behind me. Poor photographer was embarrassed and apologetic because he didn't want me to feel uncomfortable, thinking he told me to look down. I totally understood once he clarified, and I got a really great picture of myself genuinely laughing and my bridesmaids chuckling as well. Don't feel bad, girl. I've had an embarrassing breast moment also. They found a lump during an exam, so they sent me for an ultrasound. I was around 25 at the time and I was really nervous. A woman called me back and pointed me to the changing room to put on a gown and told me what room to go in afterwards, so I figured she'd be the one doing the ultrasound. But nope. I walk in and there's two young, very good-looking guys. I'm pretty sure they felt as awkward as I did because he just stared at the screen with his back to me and told me to open my gown. He started doing the ultrasound. But problem is that it was the wrong breast. He was just reaching his arm behind him and doing it without looking. I couldn't wait to get out of there though, so I just let him do the wrong one and got dressed and left. At my next APPT, my doctor asked why the right one was done and not the left one, which has the lump. So I had to tell her the story. Thankfully she understood and she called and ordered a new one with a female technician. Lol. As someone in the medical field with a country accent, I have had this happen through a family translator. I explained I'd be asking them to good their breath at various intervals. Turn around, and the son and mother are both having a discussion holding their respective chests. Glad to know if hasn't only happened to me. I looked at your profile for some reason, and it sent me down an hour-long rabbit hole of botched plastic surgeries. Lol. Got a back X-ray a month ago and couldn't figure out how to open the door of the changing room. Man facepalming. I didn't realize it slides. Girl, been there. I once needed to turn over so my doctor could examine a burn on my back and misunderstood how he wanted me to turn and fully mooned the doctor. Kind of funny to read this because when I trained to be a yoga instructor, we were taught to always say breath instead of breaths for this exact reason. Lol. Especially when you were talking in a gentle, airy yoga teacher voice. It could definitely sound like breast. Oh my god. This sounds like something I'd do. My physiotherapist was explaining a new exercise to me and instructed me to stand on one foot and cross my eyes. Good one, I chuckled. Nope. She was totally serious. Stand on one foot. Cross your eyes. Come on. Show me. So hesitantly I stood on one foot and glanced nervously at her for more guidance. Now cross your eyes. Quote. I was about 1 second from embarrassing myself when she demonstrated by standing on one foot and closing her eyes. She has a soft Thai accent and I'm very hard of hearing tears of joy. I once had to get a chest X-ray, and after they took a few photos, the nurse came back into the room and cleared his throat to tell me I had to take off my piercings. I looked at him really confused because I wasn't wearing any. Then he kind of motioned at my chest. The thing is, I was going through breast cancer treatment and had a mastectomy a few months prior. What he was seeing in the X-ray was the little metal discs that my tissue expanders had for filling with saline, which were inside my chest. I awkwardly had to tell him I couldn't remove my temporary implants until I finished chemo and was cleared for my reconstruction surgery. I still find this funny a year later. FYI. Probably not a radiologist, a physician, but a radiology tech who was talking to you. I am so laughing. This is something I would do. As soon as I read it, I knew he meant hold your breath. As an also big-breasted woman, this cracked me up. Thank you for that laugh today, and I hope you feel much better soon.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.